What's up guys, I'm Kel, Red Zone Rogue, and welcome to another Force of Will unboxing video and discussion. So in this video, I'm going to be opening up one of each of the Reiya Cluster Starter decks. As you can see here, I have them all here kind of lined up. And yeah, I'm going to be opening these up and telling you why now is the best time to start playing Force of Will. I did a video like this in the past. Consider this an updated version of that video with the most recent starter deck. So before we crack into these, I'm going to give you guys some tips as to why now is the best time to start playing and what is the best path to take when starting out on Force of Will. So first of all, I think buying one of these starter decks is a very good option. These decks cost about $15 MSRP. You might be able to find them a little bit cheaper online, and you might be able to find them, you know, a little bit more, a little bit less, depending on your LGS. I also still firmly believe that buying booster boxes is a very good way of starting Force of Will. Buying a booster box will give you nearly a playset of every single common and uncommon in the set, and almost one of each of all the rares and super rares. Buying multiple boxes will of course increase this value. I usually buy two and then fill in the singles that I need, and you know, it's pretty good value, especially if you want to have all the cards and want to experiment with all the cards. This is probably the most expensive way to go, especially if you don't know what you're doing. But I like opening boosters, they're a lot of fun, and you do get the little QR codes in there that you can scan them in and rack up some points. Also, just straight up buying the singles that you need is also a very good way of starting the game. It's the cheapest way of starting, and it'll get you exactly what you need, so you're not kind of like fishing through multiple boxes to try to find the specific ruler that you really want or something like that, because you know you're not guaranteed to get the cards that you want in a box. And if you really want specific ones and don't really care about any of the other cards, then you know buying singles is the way to go. And Force of Will singles are fairly inexpensive when compared to other card games like Magic the Gathering or something like that, so singles is always a really good option. So I mentioned this before, and I do want to talk about why I believe right now is the best time to start playing Force of Will. We're kind of in the middle of like a Force of Will renaissance. The new starter decks just came out. The last cluster, or like the block if you play Magic the Gathering, just rotated out. The card pool for New Frontiers, which is like the standard format, or the most popular format, is the smallest that it will ever be, which means that right now is a good time for innovation, rogue decks, deck building, you know, just trying new things out. All the, you know, Alice Cluster stuff just rotated out, and everything's kind of like, you know, in this state of upheaval, especially with the new starter decks and Ancient Knights on the way. Now is a great time to start playing. The player base is slowly increasing despite what you may have heard. Sales are up. The Legacy Lost Booster Box even is actually, you know, the value of that box is actually increasing, which is pretty cool. So with that said, let's crack into these boxes, and I will tell you what I think of each of the starter decks. If you want to go over the decks and the cards in more detail, I will include a link at the end to my spoiler discussion, and I go into, you know, detail on what I think about every single card in all of these decks. For this video, I'm just going to like go over the decks and just be like, oh, these are the cards, this is what you get in it. And I will open up all these just to show you, you know, what they look like in person, and well, not in person, on a video, but just to show you what they look like. Also, I should mention that these starter decks should come with, at least the first edition copies, a promo card that your LGS should give to you when you buy them. So if you buy them from LGS or an online retailer, make sure that you get a promo copy of this Sorceress of Heavenly Wind Melfi. It's actually a really good card, and it's a really good promo to have. And you get one for each of the starter decks. So I actually have 5 in here because I got, you know, all 5 starter decks. So if you pick up at least 4 starter decks, then you get a full playset, and this card's actually good, and we'll see play in the meta. And one last thing before we crack these open, I should note that since these are brand new, at the start of a brand new cluster, these will be viable in New Frontiers for 2 years. So these cards will last you a long time in terms of like playability in New Frontiers. So yeah guys, I've talked too much already. We're gonna start off with my favorite of the starter decks. Just not in terms of pure power, but just in terms of like the cards and, you know, good old Reiya here. So yeah, we're gonna open up Children of the Night first. I'm super excited. Alright, so here we have just the starter deck. The packaging is actually really good. I like it quite a bit. It's like sturdy cardboard. You can see the full right here, but let's just crack it open. This is my first time actually opening up one of these. So this is like in real time. And these are my raw first impressions of this. Alright, so we got the deck. It's just kind of in this plastic thing. I guess this is like a little play mat. All the starter decks come with these, I assume. Oh yeah, it's just a play mat to show you how to play, and kind of has a cool little, you know, graphic on it. I'm not gonna open this up all the way, but you know, this is just for like starting players. It's not like an actual play mat like the one I have here, but you know, it's pretty good just if you need to know, you know, where things go. And then here is like a rulebook reference. I'm not going to go into this as well, but each of the starting decks will have these. I won't go over this for all the starter decks. Just want to show you that it comes with them. Come with anything else? Oh yeah, it does. It comes with another like how to play little booklet. Tells you about what the cards are, what they do, like different areas of the cards, how to play them, all that good stuff. Once again, I'm not going to go over that here, but yeah, if you do buy one of these, then, you know, it's a little nice little reference booklet for you. Alright, so here we have this. It looks like it's a, you know, little ticket top. Oh, dude! I really like that it comes, like, fully, like, shrink-wrapped. They used to put, like, these little bands around it, and the bands would lead to the cards, like, coming undone and packaging and, like, them sliding all over the place. So, yeah, let's just open this up and take a look at the cards. I'm pretty excited. The foiling looks super nice on the Full Art J Ruler. Alright, so here we have the first card of the first starter deck, Reiya, fourth daughter of the Mikage. So like I said, these starter decks are $15 MSRP. They don't come with dice or any booster backs like the Lapis Cluster Starters did, but they are a lot cheaper. And you do get a full art ruler, which is really sweet. Is the other side full art? It is not, but it is still very nice. I'm kind of bummed that this side's not full art, but that's okay. This one's really nice. It's not textured, it's just full art, but it's still very nice and looks very cool, as you can see right here. And then let's just start going over some of the cards, just to show you what they got. This is Armin, Malicious, Eye in the Dark. I wonder if it does it one of each, and then one of each, and then one of each. Okay, so that's how they're going to do it. So the deck comes with 4 of each of the cards, and here you can see, like, you know, just one of each of them. This is Alucard, the Vampiric Noble. Ashen Snow White with her, like, boob pasties. Bats from the Dark Castle, I think this is actually a really good card. Dark Knight Butterfly. Empress Carmilla, which is an okay card. Good old Dark Grim the pitch black vampire. Pretty cool, he looks like a character from Persona. We have Moonlit Shadow, which is a cool card. Sword of the Half Moon, this is one of the best cards in the whole starter deck in my opinion, as well as Sword of the New Moon. Both of these cards are fantastic removal spells, and then we just have the same stuff over again. So there's the second batch, the third batch, and the fourth batch. So yeah, it does come with, you know, 4 of each, which is really sweet. Here we have the full art magic stones, unique to the J Ruler, unique to Reiya, which is really cool. These are like full art and foil, and we should have 4 of these. And then full art foil darkness magic stones. Ooh, these look really nice. They look a lot better in person. Yeah, these are nice. This is really cool. I dig this a lot. I like how that the stones are foil as well as the special magic stones. So if you do decide to pimp out your deck, you don't have to just, you know, have janky not foil stones, which I think is really cool. So that was the Reiya deck. You guys are probably curious as to what I think is the strongest deck and the weakest deck and something like that. I think the Reiya deck is somewhere in between, and I will tell you at the end of each deck where I think they are, but there's about 3 in between, and then there's one that's the weakest and one that I think is the strongest. So let's go over my least favorite next, and some people's absolute favorite. We're going to go over King of the Mountain, good old Space Panda here. Alright, so here we have the deck, good old Tigris Pearlshine, Lord of the Mountain. Let's open this up and see what we got inside. Well, we already know what we got, but let's take a closer look at them. Alright, kicking it off with our Pimp Daddy Panda, Tigris Pearlshine, Lord of the Mountain. I think he is the weakest of all of these starter decks, so I will say that right now. I think this is the weakest of them, but I still think it has a lot of potential, and that's not to say it's bad. Definitely you should pick out whatever one you like the most, because I don't think there are any that are like so weak that you should just not pick them up. I think there's just kind of like a slight variance in all of them. Here is his, you know, ruler side. He's pretty cool, he's just lounging. Here we have this Wingdings ability. We don't know what that does yet. That'll be revealed at a later date, which I think is kind of cool. And yeah, pretty nice. Looks very, very cool. I really do like the foiling on these new cards. They look really nice. So let's just flip through the cards like I did for the other deck. We have Diamond, the One-Eyed Treasury Magician. We have Gemblade Onyx, Gemblade Fury, or Ruby, I can read, Gemblade Sapphire, the Gem Craftsman, she totally looks like an Ishvalan from Fullmetal Alchemist, Gem Trader, Gem Burst, or Jewel Burst, Jewel Shield, Jewel Sword, and I just love the face on this guy. We have the White Raven, and then now we're just back to here, and we just, you know, have more. Where's the one card that has like the really derpy panda in the background? Yeah, this one. Look at that derpy panda right there. I love that. I love the art of that card. So, yep. Once again, 4 of each card, and then we'll swap it to the foil stone. This foil stone looks really nice. War from the Treasure Mountain. Very cool. And then we have foil light magic stones, which also look very nice. Very cool. These are really nice looking stones. I like these quite a bit. You know, they did a really good job with like the overall presentation of these starter decks. Like the art and everything makes it look really nice. I'm not entirely sure how they, you know, play, but yeah, I'm gonna give it a test shot in a little bit. But yeah, let's move on to the next deck. Let's go with the water deck next. This deck's pretty sweet. Below the Waves. I like this ruler quite a bit, and it does have this kind of unique raining mechanic. So yeah, let's go over this one next. Alright, so we have Shayla, the Mermaid Princess, which I think is really cool. Looks very good. I think it's one of the decks that's kind of like in the middle, very much like the Reiya deck. And here we have her other side. Just straight up Shayla. I think this is a pretty cool card. I like the art on it. I like this just kind of chilling right here, like this little fish card. Or little fish guy. So yeah, let's just start going over this deck. This deck's pretty cool. This is one of the ones I'm more excited to play and test out and see how good it is. So we have up the Angelic Voice Mermaid, the Aqua Rifle Mermaid, Cleansing Rain, Giant Sea Jelly, Pico the Wise Dolphin. This guy looks ridiculous. Princess Shayla's Attendant, Stormbolt, pretty cool art on that one. The White Whale, good old Moby Dick. The Wave Rider Mermaid, which I think is a pretty good card. Weather Change Rain, which is the crux of the deck. And then we have back to the Angelic Voice Mermaid. And let's just, you know, kind of flip through here, make sure got the same cards, all the way to the Special Magic Stone. So the Special Magic Stone is the Shoal Coral Stone. Once again, looks very nice, trying to get the shine in there. Yeah, there we go. Looks very cool. And then we have the Water Magic Stone, which also looks very, very nice. Yeah, once again, I'll reiterate this. They did a really good job, and the card feel is very nice. The cards feel very nice. They feel like they're produced in really high quality. Like, yeah, I dig it a lot. These are like really good products, in my opinion. Next up, let's do the Blood of the Dragons deck. This one's really sweet. Let's check it out. Alright, so here we have good old Kirik Ririk, the Draconic Warrior. Is it Kirik Ririk? I don't know. It's something like that. Difficult name to say aside, I think this is actually the strongest starter deck right out of the box. It has very, very good cards in it in terms of like just power level, removal, finishers. I think this deck's actually quite good. It's just a little bit notch above, say, something like the Reiya deck or the Water deck or even the next deck we'll talk about. So yeah, if you want one that's just pure power level, you don't really care about like the aesthetics or the theme or anything like that, I'd say this one's probably the one to go, but you know, I could be wrong here. There could be a little bit of leeway here and there. I think all the starter decks, like I said, are good choices, just depending on what you like. So this is our J-Ruler, Kirik Ririk, the Draconic Warrior, and here we have his J-Ruler side, just straight up Kirik Ririk. Very cool. I like this guy. I like the kind of themes of this deck. This is a pretty cool one. I like the dragon stuff. We have the Apprentice Cook, Burning Awakening, Dragon Breath, which is a pretty good spell, Dragon of Mount Hoel, pretty good finisher for the deck. Elia Rua, the Combat Chef, Hellflame, which looks awesome, Hoel Pig, which looks ridiculous, Hoelosaurus, Kirik's Partner, the Mad Boar of Mount Hoel, and we just have the one of each of all of the other cards. Well, by one of each, I mean 4 of each. And let's flip back to the Magic Stones with the Dragon Ore, which looks really sweet. Looks badass. And then we have the Fire Magic Stone, which also looks really badass. I love the printing of this. The inking on it makes it look much darker than the previews. And yeah, it just makes it look really nice in general. So yeah, I dig it. And last but not least, we have the Elemental Surge deck with this dude who totally looks like Link. Alright, so here we have Gil, the Gifted Conjurer. Really cool. Like I said, totally not Link at all. His J-Ruler side is really cool looking, and then his Ruler side is just straight up Gil. Pretty cool card. Totally not Navi or any other fairy buddy. And yeah, let's just start looking at the cards. So we have Cecil Latoyel, Elven Prince, and this deck has kind of like this mixed theme of elves and elementals, but mostly elementals. At Elven Guide, Gentle Breeze Elemental, Guardian of the Portal, Leaf Fighter, Leaf Magician, who looks like a Deku Scrub, Traveling Trader, which I like his backpack. He's got like all sorts of stuff in there, like Zelda-y things. We have the Tree Root Spirit, which I think is a decent card. Vanish, Winds of Vitality, and then back with Cecil Latoyel, Elven Prince. And then once again, we have all of the rest of the deck. Pretty cool stuff. I really do like how you get 4 of each of all the cards, so you get a full play set. That's one of my big, big downers on Magic the Gathering starter decks. You don't get a full playset of everything, so your deck's like super inconsistent. These decks, while the power level might not be quite as good as constructed decks, heavily constructed decks, they're still at least consistent, which I like. And then we also have our special magic stone, the Spirit Stone. Looks very cool. We got a full playset of those, of course. And then, last but not least, the Wind Magic Stone, which looks very, very nice. Very, very cool. So there you guys have it. That was my Reiya Cluster Starter deck opening, plus discussion of why I think right now is a great time to play the game. If you guys are still on the fence about starting Force of Will, I think now is a great time. I'm just going to reiterate again, the starter decks are great value, only 15 bucks. You get a bunch of foil cards. The rulers are all, or at least the J-ruler sides are all full art. They look fantastic. The production value is quite good. Once again, you can always just start buying booster boxes if you got the cash. You can start buying singles. I hope you guys pick it up if you haven't already. And I hope you guys at least try out or maybe pick up or at least take a second glance at the starter decks, because I think these decks are pretty cool and they have a decent amount of stuff going for them. With all that said, guys, I hope you leave a like, comment, and or subscribe, all that good shit. It really helps me quite a bit, and I actually do appreciate it. Regardless of what you do, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you all next time for some more Force of Will content. Have a good one all, and I will see you later.